that was the door, the lane that we opened. And now everybody's doing it. Yeah. Because before, nobody was singing over hip-hop beats in the 90s.
Right.
But, Anita Baker wasn't. Mariah Carey wasn't. Nobody was.
There was a time when radio would not accept R&B songs with rap verses on them. If an R&B artist wanted airplay, they had to make 2 different versions of the same song.
The radio was one of the hardest obstacles to overcome because the black radio stations didn't really understand what rap music was all about.
In the late 1980s, R&B vocals over hip-hop beats was not a mainstream idea. There was a clean line between the genres. R&B was smooth, but hip-hop was raw, and the industry wanted to keep it that way. But in New York City, DJs were quietly breaking that rule. Early pioneers like DJ Grandmaster Vic and DJ Hot Day began experimenting, blending R&B records over hard hip-hop breakbeats. They weren't following radio formats, they were following the crowd. One of the first widely recognized examples came from a DJ from the Bronx, Kid Capri.
One of those things I did on my mixtape, and what changed the whole R&B game from Diddy and everybody else, and they'll all tell you, is when I did this mix with Stephanie Mills, Something in the Way You Make Me Feel, and this breakbeat called Impeach the President.
By all means necessary, it's the Kid Capri, and as we put it on a little something like this for the Uptown crew.
I had to put this on the tape 5 different times. It became a classic, and now since that, they had to now make R&B records with breakbeats. And that's how Mary came about, and you know, everybody else that came about. And it was from that mix that it changed my whole scope of how I did things and how my parties went and everything like that. She doesn't even really know. I never got a chance to meet Stephanie. It's my first time meeting her right now. So I'm telling her right now how it went. I would love to get a demonstration if she gonna do it. Can I get an acapella? What's up, Steph? You about to see this for the first time live, first time ever. We don't even know how it's gonna come out. If it comes out with a mistake, who cares? You're doing it. All right, we're gonna start from I've been up, right? You started first.
I've been up and I've been down. Just put my feet on.
You've always been there for me.
Yes, indeed, y'all. This is the youngest DJ in charge. I'm here with my man Rocky Will and the Hard Pack, and with my man DJ Kid Capri, and my man Fab Five Freddy. Now, this is how we do things uptown.
By the early 90s, one DJ would take this sound further than anyone else. A kid from the Polo Ground Housing Projects in Harlem, DJ Ron G. His mixtapes began to gain popularity in the streets for his custom blends of classic R&B songs. Not just one track, but throughout the entire mixtape. This popularity sparks a tension between Kid Capri and Ron G.
I love Kid Capri. I watched him and wanted to be like him at one point in time in my career. And I think that what created that was his management at that time was involving me in shows. We had to separate this because people were coming to me saying, Ron, we will, support you and whatever. We don't know why this, you're the up and coming young guy, and he might be slightly jealous. So, y'all shouldn't be decent. So I kind of was going through a lot with him at one time, and then eventually we just squashed it.
But amongst that feud, they was creating a movement, blending R&B vocals over hip-hop beats. A key ingredient to Ron G's legendary mixtapes was a young woman whose vocals became just as important as the beats themselves. Her name was Miss Jones.
Do you think Diddy took what you were doing back then?
I know for a fact he did. You want me to tell the story?
Please.
Please. Yeah. So, if you remember, back then it was Mary J. Blige, and it was, before that it was like maybe Allison Williams, but she wasn't really a contender because she was a little more mature, her marketing. But back then it was Michelle A, Allison Williams, and Mary J. Blige was the new kid on the block. Michelle A was from the West Coast, so she didn't really have the edge, the New York edge.
Right.
And then I came, and Ron G was my person, and Diddy was behind Mary.
Miss Jones was born and raised in Queens, New York, Astoria houses. And before the world knew her as a radio personality, she was first a singer. Miss Jones attended the legendary High School of Performing Arts, the same school portrayed in the television series Fame.
Right. So when I graduated, I met Ron G.
Wow.
Yeah.
Legendary.
Yeah. Uh-huh. And so I started singing on his mixtapes. And at that time,
I started hearing you on that.
Yeah, it was new. Nobody was doing it. It was smooth out.
The beginning of hip hop R&B.
Yeah.
When she heard Mary J. Blige was coming out, she was getting upset. I remember those things. These are a lot of things people might not even know, so I'm saying it the first time here. She used to hate Mary J. Blige.
Yeah. Well, I can imagine that because it was same style. Very similar.
I used to be like, nah, Mary's dope.
Very similar. Very similar style.
She was like, nah, Ron, I was the first R&B singer out here on the Ron G mixtape, and now she's kind of biting our style. And I was like, nah, don't worry about it. But she really hated Mary J. Blige. So when Mary J. Blige came out with that song, Real Love, she did something similar, but she did it on my mixtape.
You see, I'm searching for a real love and I don't know where to go. Been around the world and high and low and still I never know.
I've been searching for a DJ to possess a dope technique. So I'm singing on this tape for the youngest in charge, Ron G. Ron G. He making up those fat beats.
You and Puff are both from Harlem, right? What do you think that you guys both being from Harlem, being in the industry around the same time, he never used you in some of those projects?
I always wondered, I have went to Puff a couple of times, and I have tried, but I think, I'm not sure, but I think that, he's a power guy. He's a guy who, if you're not in his circle the right way, you're not gonna progress. And maybe I wasn't in the circle the right way. Always was doing the mixtapes. He needs those producers who's at his beck and call, as you can say. With me, I'm on the road, moving around. I have tried, like I said, with the Biggie, but I'm still waiting for that day. Plus, Miss Jones, Miss Jones had issues with Mary, and he might have said, "Listen, let me keep that on the side and keep," I don't know. But to this day, I'm still looking for the opportunity to produce a Puff Daddy record.
Mary J. Blige.
Mary J. Blige.
Tell me what it's like when that project was given to you, and you came with a brand new sound. I remember Mary was kind of sitting there for a minute, and I remember you came back with a Dave Jam Hall loop record, and it didn't really have a change. And I was asking you, yo, Puff, this ain't really got no change. He said, it don't need no change, Dre. Keep listening to it. And you was right. And that became a whole style of music.
Yeah.
And you did that.
Yeah. I had just got the chance, because Teddy Riley didn't show up to the studio, so I got the chance to do this remix. I took advantage of the time, so I did this remix for Jodeci. So when I did the remix for Jodeci, it was the first record I produced. The only way I knew how to produce was because Come and Talk to Me. Was the only way I learned how to produce was from like Star Child and Brucey B and Kid Capri. They would do like these blend tapes.
They put the beats under the acapellas.
Yeah. So they put the beats under the acapella. So you had Michael Jackson, you had Freddie Jackson. You know what I'm saying? They was putting it underneath wherever they get, but they would put the illest hip hop beat. So you had Milkers chilling underneath it, or you have any type of just ill hip hop beat underneath it.
Does the title Queen of Hip Hop Soul still mean a lot to you? How does it hit you now that you're in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
It means the most to me because I'm in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because of the title. If it wasn't for me being the Queen of Hip Hop Soul, they would not have recognized my music in the genre that I have opened up for so many. So it means it is the crown that I wear in this music industry.
It reminded me of something I thought I heard you say. I thought I heard you say Mary J. Blige can't sing.
They start early.
In the beginning, and you go.
Here we go.
So here's
I immediately thought of you. I'm so sorry. I immediately thought of you when he said that.
Good.
Okay.
So here's my thing.
Let me get a glass.
Technically, maybe Mary's not the most perfect singer. Who the fuck is?
Right.
My issue with Mary, because everybody knows that I've had an issue, and I'm realizing now it probably shouldn't be at Mary as much as it should be towards Diddy.
Okay.
Because when Ron and I started this whole mixtape singing
And
on
when you're saying Ron, we still on Ron G.
Ron G,
Ron
right.
G. Okay, cool.
That was how we got our deal with Stepson Records.
Okay.
The whole album was that.
Okay. Singing on so people understand who don't know, singing on hip hop beats.
Right.
Which wasn't normal at the time.
It wasn't normal at the time.
Right.
Mary's first album, if you remember, was all like jazzy songs, a couple of dance songs, but it was remixed to sound like a mixtape.
Yesterday, once again, for those who don't know, it's the sounds of the youngest DJ in charge, Ron G. I want to say what's up to Mary, and it's that Uptown classic. Give it to him. Take him uptown to the full ground. Take him uptown to the full ground. Take him uptown to the full ground. Take him uptown to the full ground.
So because he couldn't have you.
Or not me, he wanted the music for Mary.
Oh, good.
He wanted the music from Ron G for Mary. So every song that was supposed to be mine, that's on the remix album.
Right.
That was, he got it from, and he tricked Ron, told Ron, just bring all your tapes down here. I just want to vibe. And Ron dumped all the tapes there. And I'm like, why would you do that?
Diddy went behind his back. Like, they just recently started speaking again.
Ron G and Diddy.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, damn.
Yeah.
This is Untold story. I didn't know this one.
Yeah,
This
so
one
he took the whole style, and because, you know, my label Stepson, they didn't have a lot of money. They didn't have a
They
lot
was
of
under
resources.
Tommy Boy, wasn't they?
Yeah,
Okay.
but really, really under. And so Uptown had the money, MCA had the money, and they already had proven success, so it's just like, put it in the machine and let's just keep it. So they actually beat us to the punch, and so I always wound up looking like I was trying to sound like her.
Yeah.
Have you and Mary J. Blige ever
That
sat
was
and
me.
had a conversation about this? And
No, and she doesn't know. She doesn't. And I probably shouldn't even still remember, right?
Why shouldn't you remember? Did somebody give you something where you ain't supposed to remember?
I mean, because it's so many years. After so many years, you're supposed to move on.